Picking a fight with an alien queen. Here's your look at the Quantum Mechanix Aliens Q-Fig Ellen Ripley with Power Loader. What do you do when faced with a giant alien xenomorph bent on the destruction of the last person still alive in the universe you care about? The answer is a mech suit. The answer is always a mech suit, and no one knows better than Ellen Ripley. Inspired by the classic sci-fi action film Aliens, the Ripley with Power Loader Q-Fig Elite features the dauntless heroine herself as she engages in battle with the fierce alien queen. While she'd normally never stand a chance against such a monster, Ripley has donned a mechanical exosuit, ready to defend the little girl Newt at all costs. Get away from her, you. Before we get a closer look at the Q-Fig Elite of Ellen Ripley in her P5000 Power Loader, the first thing we're going to want to do is, you already see I've got my tape measure ready here. We're going to measure off to the very top of it. Instead of measuring it here, the antennas seem to be the highest point. So we're going to take it right there, but we're also going to drag it out just a little bit, just so I'm not hitting the sides of her arms. I'm going to stop it right there. And then looking at the screen, it's reading right, man. You can see that Ellen Ripley, the Q-Fig release, is 6.7, so she's a little over 6.5 inches in height. We can switch that over to centimeters, and you're looking at the Q-Fig Power Loader Ellen Ripley standing 17.1 centimeters tall. Big thank you to the folks over at Quantum Mechanix that kindly provided this sample of Power Loader Ellen Ripley that we could have a look in this review. If you guys would like to pick this one up and add it to your Q-Fig collection, Power Loader Ellen Ripley is available right now through various online sites. I can also sprinkle in there some necessary 411 and sweeten the pot a bit to tell you that you can also take Ellen Ripley that we're looking at in this review and connect her display stand with the display stand that's going to be with the Q-Fig Elite Alien Queen, which we will be looking at in an upcoming review. Stay tuned for that. In the meantime, though, let's get a closer look at Ellen Ripley housed inside the P5000 Power Loader suit. First, I was quite amazed to find how heavy this was when I took it out of the box. I think most of the weight is still centered around here, the top area, the caged area where she's inside of it. But I still feel like the bases as well. These Q-Figs that we always look at seem to have quite a heavy base going for them, some good dense plastic. You can see some nice detail work done on the floor grading here, well, the floor grading being off to the side. It's the only thing that really gets colored differently. If not for that, it's basically an all black base, short of just a little bit of green that almost gets illuminated around the outer parameter of the display stand. I really like the simplicity of the base, and of course it's pulled from the movie as well. We can flip the base up, and underneath there, we're treated to Aliens, the Q-Fig Elite of Ellen Ripley. They've left off Power Loader, but we already know she's inside the Power Loader. It's not like they have to list it. That's additional font that you have to fit in there. But right above that, this is apparently numbered 91. And down at the bottom corner, you can also check out more Quantum Mechanic releases by heading over to QMX's website at www.qmxonline.com. Depicted here in her final confrontation she has with the Alien Queen, we get a bruised, battered, and slightly bloody Ripley, self-contained inside the Power Loader suit. Now, this, I think, also marks the first time the company has done a Q-Fig of Ripley, and clearly they've decided to go big or go home. And while I think it's cool, the idea that they've actually put her inside of a Power Loader and had some really nice details going forth that we'll talk about in a second, I hope at some point down the road the company's going to release maybe a version 2 Ripley of her just standing on her own. Maybe putting on the same floor display base that we looked at earlier, a couple of, xenomorph eggs, a blowtorch in one hand, Newt on the other. You can probably see what I'm thinking of right now. I would really be open to the idea of them releasing a second version of Ripley down the road. But in the meantime, we've got ourselves Ripley inside the Power Loader, and you gotta admit, that looks pretty cool. Starting first with her face, nice angry expression on Ripley's face. Short of her actually uttering those lines to the Alien Queen, famous. I wasn't going to say it completely at the beginning of this review, but she definitely looks like a very ticked off Ripley. If I could add a little bit of criticism, I would say that the skin tone seems a little on the light side. I probably would have just warmed up the skin tone just a little bit, but I'm really happy with the head sculpt. If you like that super deformed, stylized look that Q-Figs are known for, Ripley, I think, checks off all those boxes really, rather nicely. She has a couple of scratches on her face, not excessive amounts of blood or anything like that. Just a couple of little nicks there on the sides of her cheek. Funny enough, though, while I was looking at it from certain angles, in a way it kind of reminded me of Winona Ryder. Somewhat ironic, I would say, Winona Ryder, because she would also be in Alien Resurrection along with Sigourney Weaver. But I like the head sculpt. Short of maybe just having the skin tone just a little bit darker, I really like how this one turned out. She isn't removable. You can't take her out of the cage or anything like that. And you can see that she's got the hands on either side with both the joysticks. Some nice paintwork that we can also look at for the little harness that they've strapped her in there. Some additional silver and some nice navy blue. She's got a couple of zippers there also on the pouches of her pants. Pouches on her pants. Nicely done also there in silver. And of course we can look at her famous footwear. I think at one point there was going to be a release, like a limited edition release of those Reeboks. I think those are Reebok shoes. Never got a chance to pick those up, sadly. They've airbrushed them in, as you can see. I could maybe say that the airbrushing is a little on the cloudy side. It's not super sharp, and there's a few little places that the paint has made its way onto the laces. But you're not really going to see it from a distance like this. And there's some nice little scuffing that they've also added to the shoes as well. Moving now on to the power loader. Boy, does it have some nice weathering done to it. I can't help but draw your attention to the fact that the one arm is up like this with the claw opened. Gotta feel like that's going to connect to the queen, which we don't have yet. We're going to be opening that one up in an upcoming review. It's probably going to sit in here maybe like the neck, the arm, or part of the torso. You can see the other arm, though, is down in a more neutral position. Now, this is all molded here in yellow plastic, and there's only a few places that still remain pretty clean, like the inside of the claws. Most of the power loader is quite grimy. They've added a nice dark wash of paint in varying stages. Some of the places that you would imagine get more used, like the bottoms of the legs, maybe the shoulder area, get a little more of that darker wash. Some of the places that are a little cleaner, mind you, you probably could just dismiss as, well, it's a power loader. Things would be breaking down on it. They would have to replace the parts. So things like claws maybe could explain why that area is a little bit more of a cleaner area than, say, like the rest of the arm. Even like the back area, for example. A couple of the pistons, like this one here specifically, isn't the same yellow as everything else. But if you explain it like they would have had to replace the part, then yeah, it would make some sense that some of the parts look a little older than others. But that dark wash that they've added to it, boy, does it make it look, it looks dirty when you're seeing it like this. You got the hose that, of course, connects the arm to the actual pincer claws, and some additional silver that they put on there for the pistons as well. All come together to look almost as if it could function, although being that it's a staction piece, you really can't do anything with it. Short of maybe the one thing I commented earlier about the skin tone on Ripley being just a little on the lighter side, the other thing I wish that they could have done as well is made the siren at the top there more of a translucent red instead of a solid red. But other than that, I really like the way that this one turned out. The good thing about this one, too, is it's self-contained. You don't necessarily have to pick up the queen, although seeing what the queen looks like, and I haven't even yet taken her out of the packaging, she's going to be quite the impressive sight. You can really, again, connect the two together. And I think the bottom end of the queen's display base is sort of going to look like a crescent moon, and they're basically just going to connect together that way. But at least with Ellen Ripley, the way that they've designed her, like I said, she's self-contained. If you want to just pick up Ellen Ripley and forego getting the queen, you can do that, and it doesn't look like she belongs to something else. Quite the nice looking Q-Fig of Ellen Ripley from the folks over at Quantum Mechanix. A big one as well. If you were to take Ellen Ripley outside of the power loader, which you can't, and just had her displayed on her own, she would be a regular sized Q-Fig. And that's easily something that the company could have done as well. Like I said in this review, just have her displayed on a display stand, maybe 1 or 2 xenomorph eggs, maybe 3 xenomorph eggs, and a blowtorch in her hand. You didn't even really need to have her displayed with Newt, and I would have already been sold to the idea of an Aliens Ellen Ripley Q-Fig. But instead putting her into a power loader, what's that meme again? You holding up the money, take my money, Fry from Futurama. This is definitely for me an easy buy. And the idea as well that you're able to connect her onto an alien queen, it not only sounds great on paper, but I'm sure it's going to look rather impressive when we eventually have a look at the alien queen, which her review will be coming up shortly. This one, like I said, is available right now online. So if you guys are interested in picking up the Q-Fig of power loader Ellen Ripley, like I said, she is available right now. Big thank you to the folks over at Quantum Mechanix that provided the sample of Ellen Ripley that we could have a look at in this review. If you have picked up this one, let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of it, or just based on this review and this review alone. If you guys are also new to this channel, enjoying all the content you're seeing, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Turn as well the bell notification on and keep your peepers peeled to this channel, because we will in fact be looking at more Quantum Mechanix Q-Fig reviews lined up and coming your way. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.